Welcome to Decision 2020, The Candidates. I'm Vashan Brown. Now, in this episode of the program, we're focusing on Southeast St. Catherine, where the PNP's Colin Fagan is going up against the JLP's Robert Miller. Now, Mr. Fagan joins me for this episode. First of all, Mr. Fagan, are you under pressure in this seat?
Not at all. I mean, I've been Member of Parliament since 2007. Prior to that, Councillor, Deputy Mayor, and I've worked with the constituency for almost since 1979, having started out as JC's president, Citizens Association president, worked my way up to the point of being General Secretary of the Joint Citizens Association. I've served on many school boards as, you know, in outside of politics. So, I mean, having served the community for such a long time, having been Member of Parliament since 2007, I've done the work, and I'm pretty sure that the people are preparing to elect me once more as Member of Parliament.
But at the same time, in the last election, you won the seat by 528 votes when you were up against the JLP's Keith Blake. So doesn't that make you worry about what might happen come September 3?
Not at all. I know exactly what happened in the last election. Keith Blake was not seen as a candidate that could manage a Colin Fagan. Many persons thought that it was a walk in the park for Colin Fagan. So they actually said that you have won, and many persons stayed home. And outside of that, you know, the JLP came with a 1.5. It is a working class community. Many persons would have bought into the idea of getting this extra funds and so on. So this time around, it will be different. And if the truth be told, the efforts then and the efforts now are entirely different. I mean, I've been putting in the work for this particular election.
You say you've been putting in the work, but at the same time, your opponent has been arguing that you've neglected the people, and the people in the area are tired of the kind of representation that you've been offering.
I don't know what informed his data on that kind of a decision, but I mean, he wants to win. He will say any stupidity that comes to his mouth. I believe that he needs to understand that the work of Colin Fagan is there to be seen. A lot of tangibles. The George Lee Boulevard, for example, as a brand new road in the constituency. When you look at the sewer system, a brand new system that we dismantled, decommissioned the Independent City and the Passage Fort Independent City and the Bridgeport sewage plant. We have put a new plant in that will take the sewage out of Portmore, out of Southeast St. Catherine into Soapberry. We have done a lot of work in respect to working with the students in education. At the Bridgeport High School, you can look at the sixth form block. We have worked with many of our students. Over time, some of them would now be gainfully employed. Based on the work that I've done with them, and I would have assisted them through to tertiary education and so on. So the work has been done, and people are aware of my involvement in the constituency.
So as you prepare to, well, you're hoping to get another term, what are some of those priority areas that you'll be focusing on?
Well, the truth is that the infrastructure of the constituency is weakening. For most part, you know, that the Southeast St. Catherine is what I would call those areas where you would have started out. Now they are at the point where you need to improve on the infrastructure. For example, the pipelines, the sewer system lines. A lot of them are of asbestos, and so they would have done their useful life, and so we will now have to look at putting in a new system, putting new lines across the constituency to ensure that we don't have this breakage from time to time. As far as, you know, security is one of the areas that we have to look at in a serious way. And of course, we'll have to see how we can work with the with government, with the system, with private sector, to improve on all of those areas as far as employment is concerned.
In terms of crime in particular, what's the specific plan to deal with an issue like that?
Well, part of the thing is to ensure that like our police stations are up and running. A lot of that has to do with policy, government's policy. It's a matter of working with the government, working with whoever is the minister of national security, and with the citizens themselves, because the citizens themselves have a responsibility. Many times the information is right there and it is not filtered down or it is not given. And so it is to find a way to build that confidence between the police and the citizens so that we can have a better, a more secure community. Over time, we would have had neighborhood watches and so on. We have to work on those. We have to get the organizations such as the Social Development Commission working with the citizens to get them more involved in fighting crime in our constituency.
In the last election, the turnout was about 42%, roughly 42%. That's below the national average. And with the coronavirus pandemic now, where do you see turnout headed?
I think, given what I've seen so far, it is going to be somewhere in a similar way. A lot of persons are not too excited about going out based on even with the figures that are coming out now. But they are also very, very concerned about where the government is going and the type of leadership that the government has been providing. And so I'm pretty sure that they would want to see a change, and for that reason they are going to ensure that they go out and vote in big numbers.
So when they come to you and tell you that they have fears, they have reservations about going out on September 3, what do you say to them?
Well, the truth is that we have been making preparations, making sure that those persons who are coming out will wear their masks. We are aware of the protocols, COVID-19, and what are those things that are expected of our constituents, 6 feet apart and so on. So we are preparing, and we'll be working with our constituents to minimize any threat of danger as far as COVID-19 is concerned.
All right, Mr. Fagan, thank you so much for joining us on Decision 2020, The Candidates. That's it for this edition of Decision 2020, The Candidates. I'm Vashan Brown. Please join us again.